Damn it. I mean, do you think we can do it? Do 20 minutes without the AC running?
Can we do 20 minutes without the AC running?
Do you want to do 20 minutes without the AC running?
We can if you want.
Nah, I don't know.
I'm sweaty, but I'm not.
I'm sweaty Betty right now. That's what my Australian guy says. He goes, time to get sweaty Betty.
Who? That the guy that you're watching?
Yeah.
Is he from Australia?
Yeah. He's like, time to get sweaty Betty.
See, I know you're trying to get ripped like him, but you can't because you're not in Australia.
I'm not Australian.
Because you're not upside down.
Do you think that's a trick?
That's the trick. You got to work out upside down to get swole like that because all his muscles are being pushed up because of gravity.
Well, sweaty Betty. What's up?
Hey, man. You ready? What you got? You bought one? Oh, my God. You actually bought one.
Isn't it cute?
He feels like a Beanie Baby.
I think he's freaking adorable.
He's going to be on the set. And he's going to be customized and everything.
Customized when you put sunglasses on him?
I'm going to make him
look like
there
we go. Brother.
a member of the TLEV crew.
Brother.
Are you going to give him like TLEV spray paint?
There was King Dong.
Face paint?
King Yodong.
He's the child.
King Yoda.
King Yodong.
What's his head feel like?
It feels
I
like
said
a
what
child.
it feels like, not what it smells like.
You see how he's like a bean, though? Like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like a...
Hey, whoa.
He's got no legs. Lieutenant Dan. Oh, that's kind of disappointing.
We got a kid now.
Yeah.
And he's going to be with us.
Sorry, Miles, you're number 2.
Miles number 2.
Miles, if you're watching this in the future, you're number 2.
What is
He's
his
gonna be like, why is my dad caressing the doll?
We
but
need-
he caresses me.
Yeah,
we need a
exactly.
name. We need a whole attire for it. That's going to be up to you
Oh,
guys.
so we're going Build-A-Bear with
I'm
this?
Build-A-Bear.
Send
Build-A-Bearing
us
it.
baby clothes.
I'm already talking, making him look like a Hot Topic kind of kid.
You gotta make him go full goth, full emo.
You know, maybe like the Joker or something.
He's not gonna be
Phoenix
It's
one.
gonna not be an E-boy. It's gonna be an E-baby.
Maybe like Slave Leia or something like that. I
You're
don't
gonna
know.
Well,
slave Leia baby Yoda.
That's wrong. That is
So
wrong
wrong.
on so many.
Maybe make
levels.
him like Freddy Krueger or something. I don't
Can you
know.
take this off?
Yeah,
That's,
we'll find a way. So yeah, that's the new.
Oh, it's a hood.
No, it's not a hood.
Oh.
no.
I wish it
It's
was.
cute though.
That'd be funny.
It's like
to
a little
find out.
bomber jacket.
See, I didn't want it either, but then I would convince myself that I did want it.
Where'd you get this at?
Well, you're about to find out.
Oh,
Oh, is this not the cold opening?
this is.
Oh.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Dude. All right, let's go.
All right. New setup.
Si buena. I'm not gonna butcher Swahili.
Thank you. You know that's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Swahili.
Hello and welcome to the
Oh,
Pick
I
Your Brain
wasn't
podcast. You're not ready?
I'm
All
now
right,
ready.
Let's try again.
Let's
You ready?
do it.
All right. Hello and welcome to the Pick Your Brain podcast from the demented minds of TLEV. I'm Thomas.
I'm Mr. E.
Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda.
It kind of even moves
Dude,
away.
the camera's so effed up in this frame.
Why? What'd
but-
you do?
It's you. I'm gonna fix it right now.
It's you.
But keep going. Keep talking.
Okay, well, we have a very exciting episode 14 of the Pick Your Brain podcast because we will be talking with Mr. John Massari. I was super excited. He's, of course, an amazing media composer. You've probably
Absolutely.
seen his
Well-
work. Most famous for Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Of course, we're going to be asking him lots of questions about Killer Klowns from Outer Space, but we also just want to get to know him as a creator and as a music composer. So we're going to be talking with him. But first, we have some, housekeeping to do, and that is updates regarding Orlando.
Updates on
Baby Yoda.
everything.
Updates regarding Conjuring 3.
Oh my God,
and
you're right.
updates regarding
Tenet.
Disney.
Oh.
Tenet. Yeah, we can talk about Tenet quickly. Oh, yeah, because I kind of want to talk about Tenet because Tenet is Warner Brothers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so what does that mean for the future of movies for this year?
It's not gonna happen, Chief.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Tenet.
Well, it seems like the actors don't know anything about Tenet either.
I know that bullets go reversed in time.
How do you know what I said in this conversation? Because we just had it 5 minutes ago. Tenet.
That's Tenet. So yeah, you asked where I got that.
Yeah,
right?
where the hell did you get this thing?
I may have made a visit to downtown Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
And I got it.
That's got corona.
You might.
No,
have
it was in a
corona.
box.
It was in a box. Well, the box was open to the people.
Yo,
Ah!
he just hit a leak with the box.
But yeah, downtown Disney, which
How was that?
hopefully you
How
guys
was
have
that?
seen that video. The
Mhm.
video's up now.
There's a video?
I did film a video.
Are you sure about that, boy? Because this is going up. Oh yeah, this is gonna be going up the same day. So all right.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Sorry.
2 videos in one.
2 minutes.
And 2 channels.
I wish
Um,
you were here.
I'm impressed.
impressed?
Sunday, because I went late,
You're impressed, huh?
barely anyone there. Barely anyone there. I mean, there was people, but not like opening weekend people.
You want to talk about impressed? Where were you when we went to Calico?
Yeah.
I wish I could have. I really did. I really
Oh
did.
my.
You missed out.
gosh.
You
All right.
missed
The
out.
food was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
The funnel
experience
cake
was
the
good?
funnel cake was
The
pretty good.
portion size is ridiculous.
That-
Really?
Disney could never.
No.
I'm saying that right now. Disney could never.
That's true. I don't think their portions for food and wine are that as big as that. That was.
Yeah.
But no, keep going with downtown.
yeah.
We'll talk about Calico.
So literally 3 types of checks you do: thermometer,
Mm-hmm.
Social Security.
basically Social Security. No,
Passport.
checking your bag, which they do against like a big old.
They actually check your bag. Okay.
Check
cool.
your bag
Mhm.
still.
what do you mean? Wait,
Thing
what?
is, like the check of the bags are not like really deep,
They're
and
not
dive, but they've
thorough.
always never been deep.
They
like
make
that.
you move this stuff, right?
Right.
You move it, you slide it. Literally, you have to slide it this table, but there's like a plastic wall, so you like a window thing, so you can spit, or when you're talking, basically. So you have to like,
You're talking about plexiglass?
yeah, it's basically plexiglass.
Okay.
And then there's a dude who goes through it, and he's at the end of the table, so you have to
Oh,
literally
he actually
slide
goes
it.
Oh,
through
wow.
your stuff. Okay.
And he
Is
goes
it-
through,
is it
he's
like
got-
the airport. Do they have the rolling?
Well, yeah, they
thing?
have a stick. They have a stick. They go through with the stick.
Hit a lick with the
Then they got a hand sanitation right there for you.
What's the last check?
Right at the beginning. That you like. There's people making sure that you're.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
It's
Yeah.
a mandatory sanitization.
It's a mandatory mask. It's a mandatory sanitization when you're walking in.
Wow.
I'm impressed by the. I'm impressed by the cast members.
Mhm.
2 people try to like they had their mask down to here.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, right away. Sir, no, get. Put it up.
Fly.
Put it up. It don't fly, Chief. One con I'd say,
Mhm.
maybe it's because I'm used to how City Walk's doing it.
Mhm.
City Walk's got the arrows showing you which directions to go.
Mhm.
Is it a free
All
for
they got is literally you got people going different directions, like, and then, sometimes a cast member will tell you like, you know, you got to go this way. You need a reserve to go to the World of Disney.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Oh, really?
Hour and 45 minute.
You waited
an
an
hour
hour
and
and 45 minutes.
Well, so we went to Pin Traders. You don't wait in the line.
Is it like a virtual
No, it's a reservation.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like by the phone you get a text message once you
Gotcha.
can
Do
go
you
up
have
to
to do the
someone
reservation there, or is it on online thing?
over there. So
Mhm.
you go talk to a cast member, say, hey, I want to make a reservation so I can enter World of Disney.
Mhm.
And they ask for your name and phone number. They're like, okay, we'll send you a text once. You want to see the text?
Yeah, man.
And
Read it to us.
they were on the dot, literally.
An hour 45.
Yeah, like you can read it and
Read it in your most Mickey voice.
Thank you for visiting the World of Disney. We will notify you by text when a cast member is ready to assist you. Reply stop to stop messages from this location. Messages and data rates may apply. A downtown Disney cast member is available to assist you. Please check in at the World of Disney entrance. Dear God, please, somebody let me loose.
So there you go.
The birds aren't real.
And then you go up, and then you wait in this line that takes 10 minutes for you to get in. And
So an hour and 50, you liar.
oh, so okay,
55.
55.
Hit a lick with a box.
Well, yeah, because then you have to. Then there's like the 6 feet like keeping you.
All right, 6
This was
feet.
a bad idea to bring him in. This was a terrible idea. Anyways,
Imagine
yeah.
if I have a kid. Whoa.
I wonder if Miles is gonna be that size.
Probably not.
He might be a
Probably
little
be this
bigger.
big. Baby Yoda's a chonky boy. Look at him.
Chunkers.
He's a little
He's
chonkers.
all chonk.
He's a little
Chunkers.
chonks.
He'll probably be a little taller
Uh,
if he's got my X mutant gene.
Is he gonna have your head size? Is he gonna be a big head like
Yeah,
Baby Yoda?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I'll
gonna be on
hold
the
him
set.
like this, you know
Poor.
what I'm saying?
Anyways, you know what's cool? I think Disney created this like little thing where they check on their phone how many people are inside the world of Disney, and then they notify the other cast member in the front, like, okay, now you can send this many people in.
I mean,
Walmart
you could do
has
that
that.
with you could do it with a walkie-talkie.
Pretty cool,
but-
pretty cool. Oh, they don't do walkie-talkies. Out
Oh,
there. This
yeah,
is
no,
Disney. They now the sad part.
Oh, there was a sad part.
You got corona.
You, I you can go up to the gates of DCA and Disney,
yeah.
like
Why is that the
really
sad part?
close.
Where's your couple photos? I'm
No,
sure you
I'm
took
not,
some couple photos.
I ain't doing that. I
No?
ain't doing the because it's sad. I did it
Why
with
is it
Universal.
sad? Why is it sad?
That's true for
You
the
get
right.
to go
No,
up to the entrance.
that's cool. No,
That's
I
more
just
than
mean
you
like
got.
it's sad that
I think we're learning a lot about your preferences, Jose.
What do you mean?
well, no, actually you can't go
You
all
like
the way
you
up
like
to
to
the
be
front.
teased, huh?
You know where the gate is? Yeah, it's a big tease,
What
basically.
you like to be
The
teased.
gate. You remember when we were waiting for Rise, where they had the holes
Yeah,
and cover?
yeah,
You
the
can't go to that gate.
Oh.
They still like string that's like all around, and there's like some security.
Wow, those photos really don't show that though. So hey,
Yeah.
great job on
Oh.
those photos.
Yeah, how did you...
Google Pixel 3A. Quick shout out. Yeah, great camera.
Discontinued phone. So shout out.
Is it
shout
really a
out. Yeah, they They discontinued
So
the
how
3A
great's
and
your phone
3A
really?
XL
Where's your God now?
Bro.
right here.
Exactly. Anyways, I felt safer out there.
Man.
I recommend going afternoon. Like we got there at 5. Closes at 8. You know.
That's really early.
Now, what was crazy is I think if you go around 7, something like that, a lot of people do that because
Fight you.
when we were leaving, we saw the queue to go into the World of Color.
World of Disney?
World of Disney. Whoa! It went all the way up to the tram. Like it would, yeah.
That's not cash money.
That
bro.
wasn't cash money seeing that, but we didn't have that at all.
Nice.
So I think it's literally like you go there the afternoon. Don't go Saturday. Don't go
I
Saturday.
can already
Don't
tell
go
you. I could have
Saturday.
told you that. Now
Don't go Saturday. They don't have. They sell us stuff quickly, but at 65th stuff, there's a lot of shirts and
Okay.
hats and all that. Pins, they're sold out, completely sold out. The pins are gone. We checked Pin Trader and we checked World of Disney. Sold out.
Did you talk to anybody?
We talked to
And
people,
what'd they
and they're
say?
like,
That's sold
"Yeah,
out."
it's sold out."
Oh, well, does it carousel
Annual
of color?
passes do work. Annual passes work to get
Yeah,
stuff.
So that's how you can find out if your pass is still valid.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a barcode for my pass.
You don't have like the actual.
No, it
card?
got it. Oh, my yeah, I do have my
Yeah,
card. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I could do that.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was my little trip. We'll see in 2 weeks if I got the COVID.
Y'all will see.
That's
But
great.
Y'all will see.
I
I'm
think
just
by
chilling here with,
You're sitting with Baby
well, you're
Yoda.
holding Baby Yoda, who has the most of it, all of us.
God damn it.
Anyway, speaking of COVID, HHN 30.
HHN.
It looks like it's happening. Yeah, it's crazy, huh?
So the reason why we know that it's happening, our
we still
statements
don't-
are based off is as of today, the Tribute store was set up, and there were higher execs from Universal Orlando Resort who are going in. Even some of the actors who have portrayed Jack and Chance were able to go in and do some purchases.
Really?
So there's stuff in there. There's stuff happening.
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean for the event actually happening in Florida?
Probably happening.
Bro,
It's probably
So,
happening.
but okay, please talk about your 2-week thing to those people who are planning on going to HHN.
No, let them learn by themselves.
Oh,
If they want to go, let them learn by themselves.
is that a real thing?
the 2 weeks. So, I know for specific for states like New York, New Jersey, Connecticut,
Right.
Pennsylvania.
Mayflower.
Exactly. All those states that were touched by the Mayflower. They have a joint, like the governors had a joint statement,
Joint agreement.
They have
joint
joint
agreement.
custody.
joint custody of Baby Yoda.
Yes.
No, any tourists coming to their state
Yep.
that is from a hotspot state.
Are
So
we a hotspot?
we are hotspot here.
Who are we
in
providing to
Cali.
right now?
Not only because the sun hits more here, but yeah, we're
Not because of the Wi-Fi or anything.
Everything,
Or the data.
everything hit.
Hate you.
Everything hit here.
I hate you.
So California's on that list.
Yeah.
Florida is on that list. So when you go,
So a hotspot to a hotspot. Eh?
yeah. So when you go to
hotspot?
those states,
Becomes a smoking spot.
you have to self quarantine for 2 weeks. I know, Baby Yoda.
Really?
I know. So but I haven't read what you read when it comes specifically to Florida, where it sounds like you have to stay there for 2 weeks.
I don't know. I didn't read anything like that.
Okay.
I thought that's what you guys were saying was it's 2 weeks you have to be out there. So like people who are planning on going a weekend or
Uh-huh.
something like that to just HHN 30 and that's it. Can they even do that? I honestly, it depends. Like I think we have to wait until
Exactly. I think you
the
need, yeah.
info comes out.
If you really
yeah.
are traveling to Halloween Horror Nights,
Yeah.
Orlando.
yes, and you're from a different state, do your research.
Yeah.
Make sure you're prepared.
Yeah.
This is definitely something that props to those who are going back and forth between California and Florida. We see a lot of our fellow creators doing that. More power to them to be doing that. We cannot, because there are so many things that we have here that we need to protect, like Baby Yoda
Yes.
and Baby Miles. And
Yes.
so we will not be able to do that. But for those who are doing that and for those who are planning on making trips out there, please make sure that you are doing your research and that you're staying in the know.
Yeah,
So
man.
what does this mean for HHN Hollywood, though?
Well,
what
I mean,
what have you seen? In the
so
past 2
I
weeks?
said I would make a video about it, but honestly, it's just so
You can't.
disheartening to make
Yes.
a video about it.
Yes.
We are
Okay.
noticing they are starting to take down the backlot maze facades.
Disassemble, if you will.
Disassembling. I keep forgetting I have a camera
Yes,
right
you do.
here.
You have your own camera.
Hello, camera.
Mhm.
Basically, they're disassembling the maze facades, which I would think means they're disassembling the wood of the maze framing and stuff like that too.
Yeah, splinter by splinter.
And a lot of people, I saw they were telling, SoCal Exploring mentioned it, and I guess a lot of people were telling him, no, they're just trying to expand the facade or changing it up. By the look of it, that's not it. That ain't it, Chief. Nothing has moved at all for the facade. That's what people are saying. Oh no, they're just moving it a little bit.
My favorite rumor.
What's your
my
favorite
rumor is that they're taking out the Metropolitan sets. But don't worry, we're still gonna have the Waterworld, and they're not touching those. They're only taking out the Metropolitan. sets.
So Mummy and
Mummy and Waterworld.
well, maybe there's something in the sound stages.
And apparently they're doing some construction around Forbidden Journey.
Forbidden Journey.
We're finally gonna get the Harry Potter maze.
I doubt Warner Brothers would ever let, or J.K. Rowling.
I mean,
would
we
ever
saw
let
they
anybody
cleared
touch
out.
that.
Don't matter. She got canceled.
They cleared out
She's
J-Dub.
in charge of that. She's in charge of that brand. It's sad.
Yeah, they
my
they
biggest
cleared
struggle.
out JWQ a while ago,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think anything was added to it. So it's safe to say,
Until I see her face, I will not be a believer. Because as the song goes, and then I saw her face, now I'm a believer.
So until we see John Murdy's face.
Well, no,
you won't
until
be a
we see
believer.
HHN's face.
Which is John Murdy's face.
No, until I get a commercial
Mm-hmm.
and the coupons that they usually do at Burger King.
Oh, I'm just talking.
BK
I'm just-
has my Whopper wrapped
I-
with the HHN logo.
I'm just
Why
talking.
would you dine with the clown when you could dine with the king?
I'm just talking. I'm gonna see it on Twitter. Good old HHN symbol saying, "Hey guys, it ain't happening, Chief."
HHN symbol?
Yep.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
on Twitter,
they're like,
yeah. The
yeah.
profile
And with that
pic.
exciting news, let's head on over to our interview
AJ
for the rest
30.
of this podcast, where we talk with the fantastic media composer John Massari. Are we all ready?
Yes.
Let's do it.
So the next guest for our Pick Your Brain podcast needs no introduction. He is a media composer for film, television, video games, and of course we know him for his work in Killer Klowns from Outer Space. It is our very good friend, Mr. John Massari.
Woo! Yeah.
Hi guys, thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for coming. So, of course, we love your work with Killer Clowns from Outer Space. We're listening to some of your work right as we were setting up right now.
Yeah.
And this isn't our first time meeting either. We actually met at Halloween Horror Nights. So I think the best place to start is, how was your experience? We saw you at the very beginning of the night. How was the rest of the night at Halloween Horror Nights for you?
Oh, how was Halloween Horror Nights for the opening of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space haunted house, or what would you call it? House? What is it called? Haunted house?
Yeah. So
attraction. How was it? To say that it was surreal would be an understatement. For I thought there was a reception after the red carpet. Everyone piled into a reception area where there was food and what have you. And I was hanging out with Grant Kramer and the Kyoto brothers and John Murdy, who is the absolute visionary genius behind the whole thing. And at one point, I found myself with John Murdy and Leonard Phillips, who's the lead singer for the Dickies. And we talked for like an hour.
Oh, wow. That's great.
For a while, you know, there was this line for all the shuttles that were going to take you directly to whoever you were. Depending on who you were, it would take you directly to that respective attraction. So we basically almost missed it, you know. So we had the very, very last shuttle. We were supposed to go, all of us, the Kyoto brothers, the Dickies, and everyone, were supposed to go in all together with James and Chelsea, Deadbeat James. And that didn't happen because he was texting me, and I said, dude, I'm talking to John Murdy and Leonard Phillips, the lead singer of the Dickies, and I just can't break it up. It's just too much. So it was really, that itself was really awesome. And so we went through the attraction, and I got to tell you, you know, when I originally worked on the movie, I felt like a little kid again, because it was like I was working on a Saturday matinee movie, the ultimate Saturday matinee movie that I would go to every weekend, or go watch as many times as I could if I was 9 years old. You know, it's like, oh God, let's all go see Killer Klowns again for the 12th time. Right. And so I felt like that again, going through the whole thing. And the way they constructed it in sequence with the movie, and subsequent visits when I went to meet various people, to have little meet and greets and just hang out, it's so interesting how they design you know, the warm up to the attraction, like when you're waiting in line. They have the music is building up from the beginning of the movie. You know, in sequence, dramatic sequence of the movie, and then they had that reenactment of the farmer looking for his dog. You know, the whole thing going over and over again. And I got to tell you, those scare actors, that's the one thing about a professional, when they can do something consistently good all the time. Like if you ever go to a baseball game and you see, what are they doing? They're doing basic stuff, but they do it really well. And so that's what it was like. It was like, this guy was like, he was the farmer all the time. It wasn't like, oh God, I got to do this again. It was like so consistent. I must have seen that introduction probably 50 times. The various visits that I went, I would go like every other week, either a Friday or Saturday night, and meet people and hand out little goodies and stuff. And at one point, one of the administrators came up to me, and I thought I was going to get busted. You know, holding up the line or something like that, and they said, "Do you want us to get you a table or something?" And I go, well, "Gosh, that would be, nice." And it says, and anytime you want to just like go right in with a group of people, just go see so and so, and they'll get you in." And so I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So it was just really fun hanging out with people. We would talk about all kinds of stuff, or I would hear people their experiences with the movie, or what they want to do, what their aspirations are. Some people want to get into they want to become filmmakers and what have you. And I would go with professional friends of mine that are, direct commercials and things like that. And all of a sudden they're giving like a little seminar classes. Oh, no. You don't need to go. You don't need to do this and do that. Here's the order of you need basic items basic elements to make your visual dreams come alive. And so I was really happy about that. And then at one point, we went to the it was like several weeks later. I just happened to be in the gift shop. I had to pick up some goodies for some people and mail it back to them, in Europe, because they don't have any of that. They didn't. Obviously, they're not going to get any of this, and something sold out online. So there was a guy that bought some Killer Clown thing. I don't know what it was, like a placemat or something like that. And I said, "I could sign that for you." And he goes, "Oh, that'd be so cool." I was there for 3 hours signing stuff. And so the manager of the store came over and says, "We're sold out of Killer Clown's inventory. We have you to thank for it." So it was a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun. I was so happy I tried to get something with the Kyoto Brothers, the Dickies, and the cast to do to get together on one night and do something special. For some reason, it just didn't work out. I think the Dickies. They said if the Dickies can't be if camp is all or nothing, can't be a few people. So the Dickies, they were on tour or something like that. Okay. So that was before the Corona.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Or else now we're in the same part of town. Well, I mean, we're in the same. You guys, Torrance? I forgot. You're in Torrance. Where are you guys?
No, we're in LA. We're in LA, probably.
Yeah. Okay. So we could physically be hanging out at your really cool place, smoking cigars and stuff. But we have to do. We're doing it this way for now.
Yeah, definitely for next time. We'll bring out the cigars. We'll make sure it's this whole place.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you guys shouldn't be smoking cigars.
No
one's old enough to smoke a cigar. You know who told me that? A man who was 99 years old told me that while he was smoking a cigar. He goes, not even. I'm not even old enough to smoke a cigar.
But what if they were made out of cotton candy cocoons, though?
Well, you know what? They're edible.
Oh, there we go.
They're edible.
It'd be like aromatherapy.
Right? Yeah.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay.
Wow.
All right, so we'll find some cotton
Light up some
candy.
incense.
There we
some
go. Cotton candy,
incense.
lollipops, and other sweets. So definitely, this is. Halloween Horror Nights was definitely the first thing we wanted to talk about, but I think we need to take it back because we really want to know what got you to that point. So we did have a couple questions about.
Go ahead.
The beginning. So.
Do you want me to go off first? I'll go off, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, we did a little bit of research about you, Mr. Massari. And I noticed that you worked on both TV shows and movies. So is there a big difference for making music for TV shows compared to making it for like a movie?
Well, yeah, there is, because depending on if you are in the ground floor of the development of a television show, right. You basically at some point you're called on because it's impossible for one person to compose all these episodes. So I was working for Variety of other composers, and they said, well, you hear what the show's like, you have to do music like that for this scene.
Oh, wow, okay.
So you're constantly like okay, let me do something like that. You're not, in other words, you're not making, you're not establishing an original voice. And
Right.
in the 80s, like I kind of started in the early 80s, there was a certain, TV shows had a certain sound. And that's what
Right.
everyone expected because it was a kind of like a um, cookie cutter approach. I mean,
Mm.
if you looked at every television show, there's a certain sameness. I can't put my finger on. They're all different. You
Right.
know,
Right.
like if you watch an old TV show like Barney Miller is different than Kojak, you know.
Right.
But they were all recorded at one of 3 or 4 big studios. They were at the Universal lot, Paramount, at 20th Century Fox. There was a place that's no longer there, a gorgeous, huge studio, CBS Radford Studios. It was giant, um, and a lot of great movies were there. I think Jamie Horner did one of his big movies there. I forgot which one, but that movie. So not only is the music somewhat similar, they all had the same sound. You know, and musicians, you tended to see the same kind of some configuration of the same musicians at the various studios. They would just be there, you know. So being trying to be original was very difficult. So when I got the opportunity to do this movie, I said I can do something that is clearly different than everyone else. And and you know, at the time, that was my subliminal thinking. And I didn't really discover how uh, um, cherished the movie is, how much people really love the movie until like 5 or 6 years ago. I'm really, really new to this. I had no idea that the Kyoto brothers and various people from the cast would do appearances and things like that because there was like a population. And one day, I was having coffee in Santa Monica on the Third Street Promenade, and someone from the Kyoto brothers organization says, "You want to come to the convention this weekend and sell stuff?"
Wow.
And I go, "What, like car parts? What do you mean sell stuff?" I had no idea what she was talking about. So discovered it was Monsterpalooza, right? And
Wow. Yeah.
a long time ago, Monsterpalooza was called something else. I want to say it was called like Sci-Fi Con or something like that. It was something else. I can't put my finger on it, but I remember going to them in the mid '80s over there at where they had Monsterpalooza and Son of Monsterpalooza. So I went there and they had a table, and it was the 25th anniversary of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and I was there, and there were people that knew the music better than I did. And I said, well, you know, I better take a second look at this because I realized here's what's funny. I'm speaking to you on the level. When you get in this business, you're always looking for something that's going to cut you from the herd that people recognize. And I was thinking to myself, all this time I've been looking for something to distinguish myself from everyone else, and it's been at my fingertips from the very beginning. There's an old allegory where the farmer gives up farming because he wants to be a diamond. He wants to mine diamonds, so he travels the world. And he gives up. He can't find diamonds, but he comes back home and he's plowing his field, and lo and behold, there it is. The diamonds were there the whole time, and he just didn't know. If you just looked, you know, if you look in your own backyard, sometimes you'll find the great thing. So it was very fortuitous that I got that call, but it wasn't that I got the call. It wasn't that there was a bunch of people that loved this little movie. It's I got to know the people that loved the movie, and they were all just very sweet and genuine people. And I thought to myself, you know, I have a responsibility to give them something, you know, other than what they already have, because there's been the issue for the longest time of doing a sequel to the movie, you know, and I could just tell you that the owners of the movie is Metro Goldwyn Mayer, a publicly traded company. And if anyone is interested in inquiring about a sequel or requesting a sequel, you can go to their corporate website, They're a public company, and they have a contact, and they're not going to. Don't be shy. Say, I love this little movie. When are we going to get another one? You know, it's up to you. It's up to the fans, because it's the fans that have brought love to this movie from the beginning. You know,
And we'll definitely put all that contact
I mean,
information.
yeah, you
in the
you heard
links
it
in the
here, folks.
description
Like,
down below.
let's get Killer Clowns from Outer Space 2 coming.
you'll do your research, but it's like I don't want to. I just hope it doesn't become like a thing like Star Trek, where they're like doing all these different dimensions of Star Trek, and it's like the core value of Star Trek is getting kind of lost. Because I used to be a big fan of Star Trek, and I just have no interest in the new stuff, because there's, you know, I don't know if it's me, but there's just nothing. There are certain elements that made the original Star Trek work that to me are lacking from this newest one. But who am I to say?
But I think you're
There was
definitely.
a charm that Killer Clowns had that I still think we can maintain.
And I think your concerns about Star Trek are very much similar to many other fandoms.
Right.
Like, in particular, we are huge Star Wars fans, right? Yes, and we know that very much. What was released the past 5 years has been very different, almost like it's missing the magic of what was released back in 77, 80, and 83, right? Those were so different. But going back to about, you know, the originality, and we've heard that you've mentioned in the past that you were able to find your voice with Killer Clowns, right? That you were able to find your identity with that. How has that helped you with more recent projects?
Well, it has, because it's not easy. It's not every composer. I mean, there's a lot of composers that work in this town, because there's a lot of music that has to be made. I mean, you know, and a lot of them work a lot. I'm one of them. We're not all like home, you know, household names. It's not, you know, it takes quite a bit to get up to the level of like, you know, Hans Zimmer or John Williams, or you know, all the you know, Ennio Morricone. You know, takes a while. And you know, when you think about it, Ennio Morricone, when he was doing his spaghetti westerns, you know, I'm sure when he first started, people loved the music. It was a big hit, but he wasn't taken as seriously as like Maurice Jarre that did Lawrence of Arabia, for instance, right? So, but he still had so much innovation and heart in his music. And when you hear him describe, you know, like the good, bad, and the ugly, the theme, you know, he says, all I want to do is imitate a lone coyote calling out into the vastness of the desert to other coyotes. You know, that's what he was just, you know, he had, you know, latched on to something. So so what I'm getting to is that there's a lot of composers, they work a lot, but what they don't have is a following and a brand, so to speak. And I'm very fortunate that Killer Clowns is part of my brand, where as you know, like for instance, last year I did a Western, and they said, you know, you're the Killer Clowns guy. How can you do a Western? I go, well, the Killer Clowns guy used to do Little House on the Prairie, which is not like a Western. You know, but you have the fact that someone that did a cool original movie like Killer Clowns is now doing your movie, and then they go, oh yeah, and that was a lot of fun to do, by the way, that Western. And then when you think of it, I mean, look at Ennio Morricone when he did the spaghetti westerns, which were like discount, you know, Hollywood westerns, but they still had a very definitive charm and artistic merit on their own. They weren't taken as seriously, right? But still, Ennio Morricone just kept at it. You know, he never stopped. I mean, he was always doing it. There's innovation in everything that he's done. And for those of you that I will speak to your audience that are not familiar, we lost a very incredible voice in the film composer, in the film composition world. Ennio Morricone, he was an Italian film composer, and he's done, you've probably seen at least if you've ever watched movies, you've seen at least 3 of his movies. That's how many movies he's done. He's insanely prolific and insanely talented. And the fact that brother Tarantino used him in his last movie was just it was such a treat in The Hateful Eight.
Oh, so I definitely with Killer Klowns being this just predominant part of now, like with your brand and everything like that. Do you try to incorporate a little bit of Killer Klowns in other media stuff that you work with? So like, if you're composing something for like a video game, do you try to throw a little bit of Killer Klowns in there, or?
Well, Josue. How do you pronounce your name?
Josue.
Josue.
Yeah.
Not Jose, but Josue. Okay,
Yeah.
let me write that down. Josue, because that is such a cool name. Josue. Okay. Why did you have to tell all my secrets? Why did you do that? You promised you wouldn't say anything. Well, you know what? Everyone has a little signature thing that they do. And I put it places that people don't readily know. For instance, in the movie, if you want to look at it, where the kids are driving up to, they can't drive their car any further, and they got to get out of the Jeep, right? And Mike jumps on the hood, and he's saying, "Chief, whatever, Chief running at the mouth," and all that. Where they're going to plan to make their little trek into the forest, right? Well, there's a little kind of like a motif, a chord sequence that becomes the Killer Klowns theme, right? So the Killer Klowns theme was written years and years before, but that little cadence when he jumps up on the hood is a particular type of cadence, right? I use that everywhere. Don't tell anyone, because they don't realize it. And I use it in variations, obviously.
Right.
But it's like I try to make variations of it because, like, there was something that James Horner did that I can't believe. I would hear it and I just, Jamie, why are you doing that again? It's like there's a piece of Prokofiev's. It's the Ivan the Terrible. Is it Ivan the Terrible? There's a classic, one of the either a silent film or the first sound pictures in the Soviet Union that was composed by Sergei Prokofiev, and there's a battle on the ice. It's about feudal Russia. Where they've got breastplates and armor and stuff like that. And there's a certain theme, there's a thing, there's a motif that happens that Jamie did a variation of, but it shows up everywhere. Basically, like that. You know what? And it's his signature thing. I can't blame him for that. You can say, oh, that's got to be a Jamie score, or someone's copying the hell out of him. Copying the hell out of Prokofiev. And you know what they say? It's artist. Let me see. What did they say? Geniuses steal their work. So.
I mean, I think, we like incorporate the same stuff like in our videos, like we keep a core part of like us, and I think that's the exact same thing there,
Yeah. So in answer, Josue, in answer to your question, you have to have something that like is kind of like a marker, like a watermark, I guess.
Right on.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I got a question about when you were studying to become a composer, because I read a little bit that you studied under Jerry Fielding and Mark Snow, and those are big musicians out there. I mean, they've worked on major films. Were there lessons that you took away from them that you keep to this day?
Yeah, well, both of them were very different. It's not like they were going to instruct me how to do something.
Right.
They basically say, this is what I need done. I would recommend you do it like this. and there's always a big turnaround. You know, like if you can't cut it, there's just someone else that will
Oh,
pick
wow.
it up when you
Yeah.
came up. So you have to really be on your toes. I'll say with Mark Snow, what fascinated me about Mark Snow, his process, um, and it's like, and I always admire when someone raises the bar. Like when I was at UCLA, there was a kid. Well, he's just a couple of years older than me. His name was Mike Miller, and after he finished school, he was like the music director for a number of television shows. He was just like really talented. He was like he worked with Henry Mancini, for crying out loud.
Oh my
And he
goodness.
just like there's these guys that just raise the bar, and you realize, shoot, I got to figure out how to jump up and get that. You know what I mean? So with Mark Snow, it's like I had a process with the way I composed, like a certain steps that I would do to get it ready to put in front of musicians to play, and he actually had a piano with a desk on it that I kind of copied. I took the measurements or sort of with my eyes. I didn't take a picture of it because we didn't have camera phones back then. But I admired the way he put the full score
Mhm.
on the piano, and he was writing out on the full score, and he would check and double check. Okay, good. This goes to the copyist that the musicians would play. Whereas me, I have to come up with like a little a sheet of paper with ideas. Then those ideas get like spaced out. Then I do a third one where it gets spaced out in detail. Then there's a fourth step where I put it in such a way on a large score where the musicians can play. He bypassed everything and just went boom to the score. So it's like I had to like take out a few redundancies to get to where I wanted to go. And I worked with him for about maybe about a year on and off, and then I went on with to Jury Fielding, and Jury Fielding was really tough. He was just a tough guy. He was he had a really rough life dealing with politics in the 1950s, and so he was really rough around the edges, but he had a heart of gold, and so he was very patient with me. Uh, because he says, you know, you got a lot of potential. That's the only reason why I'm patient with you, because there were some I would do stupid things, you know, and so you know I was lucky that he just didn't totally ignore me because and then I was mentored to a degree by Bill Conti. If you don't know who Bill Conti is, if you know the movie Rocky with Sylvester Stallone, that was Bill Conti's score. He went on to do many things, including The Right Stuff, and I believe he got an Academy Award for it. So I would see him maybe twice a year and talk to him on the phone twice a year. So between two phone calls and seeing him in person, and we would just talk about the business. He goes, "What are you doing? That's you're wasting your time doing that. You should do this instead." Um, Very simple stuff, and his story of how he got where he was very inspiring. And what's great about these guys is they're very consistent. It doesn't get bigger or smaller. It's a very specific set of steps to where they got, and it's not like they planned it. They've kind of worked it into their life, so to speak, and to get where they were. I mean, they had a goal. You have a very specific goal, but he and you can see his story on YouTube. I think there's several interviews where he talks about he lived in Italy for a number of years, and he studied from some pretty big composers, Persichetti, and which was actually Persichetti is an Italian composer that lives here, but then Luciano Berio in Italy, which was he was among serious classical music. Luciano Berio is a big name. So he came back to the States. He had his journey is very interesting, and so I thought, gosh, I don't have it so bad. You know, I just got to learn to work with it. And we all have one of the toughest things to come over is personal adversity. You may have people working against you,
Mm-hmm.
and those people working against you could be related to you.
Right.
And sometimes you don't know that because you can't see it until it's pointed out to you. And you got to figure out what's really important. What do I really value to get where I want to get, but still have a decent relationship with people.
Right. Right.
And you have to learn how to avoid. You're only as successful as the 5 people you hang around with. And I mean, if you hang around people that their idea of doing something is just doing nothing, you'll end up doing nothing. The old saying, you hang around with losers, you'll become a loser.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to seek out people that are better than you and admire what they do. And you'd be surprised how expert people are willing to share their knowledge with you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they'll give you a job. They may listen to something or watch something that you've done and maybe makes very significant suggestions that would certainly move you along.
Next question, definitely with all 3 of us here, we're musicians. We've played for long parts of our lives. Music is a very big part of our lives. But one of the things that recently we've struggled with is a lot of what our online presence, there comes copyright if we use music that is too similar or is basically if we have music that is not our own created. So we've been working on composing music. So
I definitely.
That's smart.
Yeah, exactly.
if we have the full rights, then YouTube can't tell us anything. That's really that's our goal.
and trust me, you'll get once you there's a very simple process of getting it copyright protected through either ASCAP or BMI. You'll find out you get a few bucks every so often, even off your own show.
Yeah.
So my question is, as someone with your vast experience, and as us all 3 novices, what would be, and I know that when you started after seeing Journey to the Center of the Earth as a kid, and you went to the piano, is that something that you still do? Do you go to the piano and create something from there, sample that, and then bring it, writing it out for an orchestra sampling? Where does your process begin?
Well, it all happens between my ears, but I do really appreciate the work of other composers. I'll see a movie and or hear something, and it will just I will listen to it very closely. If I can get a recording of it or watch it again on stream it again and listen to it closely, I'll just listen to it, and because if I try to I don't want to copy it, but if I get the concept of the structure down of what they're doing, oh wow, those elements combined together are very interesting. I mean, I think I'll steal that, but not the notes. You know what I'm saying?
Right, of course.
Right. So, for instance, there's another composer. He died. He was like 90. I don't think he even turned 40, and he did Arrival. Johansson. Johannes Johansson. He's from. I don't think he's Swedish, but he passed away. He did. If you've seen the movie Arrival, that score was just so wonderful, and it sounded like to me they was using an instrument that I've been incorporating in my music. So there's this instrument that Jonas Johansson, I think is his name. I'm so sorry if I don't pronounce his name properly, but he's very, very talented. And he was using, at least he sounded like this. It was an instrument that I was using, and I thought, wow, that's really great because he was doing different things with it. Like he was cranking it through an amp or something like that. But it was a very acoustic score.
Oh wow! Okay.
Very, very acoustic. I mean, yeah, and there's electronica in it also. But there's things that he did, and I was just like, going, I love that. That's brilliant. I would sit there and watch that little section again. So yeah, I go through that process of listening to other music. Lately, during this uh, sequestering where we have to be inside, it doesn't matter to me because I'm always inside anyways. Um, it's not like the world is different for me. But in any event, the I've been listening to Bruckner lately, and Anton Bruckner. And in Anton Bruckner's music, I hear, wow, I'm hearing a little bit of Mahler. I'm hearing a little bit of Shostakovich. There's certain things, certain ways that Bruckner would develop his music and maybe have a segue or into another phrase that I see where that influence from other composers have after him that he's gotten from. And it's so amazing because there were some symphonies that Bruckner wrote that he never heard. He rehearsed maybe one or two movements, but they were never performed. And I feel like a lesser person would have quit. But what he did is he wrote 3 more symphonies.
Oh my goodness.
And they're part of the standard repertory. And when they're performed, and these symphonies, they're like, some of them are an hour and 20 minutes long. And there's such an innovation so I got to reacquaint myself with Bruckner. And so this project I'm working on now, I kind of like employed some of the elements to make his music interesting into my music. So, yeah, so you're always doing that. You always got to do that. And I'm sure filmmakers do that a lot. And I just saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
Yes.
Quentin Tarantino. And it's interesting because when you hear Quentin Tarantino talk about his movie, he's talking about he says, I want to bring alive the experiences I had when I was a kid. And there's so many levels to that movie, like the radio stations people are listening to, and driving and getting, filling up of, the people thumbing for rides and stuff like that. You don't see that anymore. When I was growing up, people thumbed for rides all the time. It was just all the time. Oh, I'll just thumb a ride. I'll get someone to pick me up. But he incorporates that. He takes that life experience and he like shoehorns it into his films. And the fact that he like rewrites history to me is super amusing because I saw it with my kids. And I said, you have to understand, this is not the way it happened. This is the way he wishes it would happen. Which is kind of cool because in real you fall in love with the people who lost their lives more dearly than you actually get to know them better.
That's true. Yeah.
Watching a rewrite of a history where they don't get killed, and she's a sweet kid that now she's alive, and the bad guys are dead. So. But wait a minute! In the movie, did Charlie Manson run free?
Well,
they don't.
No, he just ends up. He's just
because he's on a retreat when all this takes place.
Because he sends his children to basically children with the.
So it's those 3. So okay, so we don't know how maybe there'll be a part 2 to that movie where he tries to get Helter Skelter going. So you see what I'm saying is that like you got to find something that's near and dear to you. I got to tell you, I have you say you want to do your own music. There is a YouTuber that I have that I really admire. He does his own music. It's Steve 1989, and he reviews MREs, meals ready to eat. He's got his own style, man. This guy, he's got his own groove down, and his music. I love his music. I've always been commenting on his music that I appreciate his music because it's raw, it's uninhibited. He's doing something that he likes to hear.
Okay.
He's not trying to be like someone else. Like he's probably got a couple of synthesizers. He goes, "Oh, I like this sound. Because of this sound, I'm gonna play this kind of music." You know what I'm saying? It's like primitive and wonderful. That's what I like. And then you probably know Decker Shadow, right?
No, no.
Decker Shadow, he's probably got, I don't know, he's got like 100,000 subscribers. He's in Texas, and he's got a friend of his name is Ichabod Crane, who writes this weird dark, he writes the kind of metal music I would write if I could only write metal music. It's just so great, and every time it's just like really good. I mean, it needs a little, maybe it can use a little polish on the production, but I just really appreciate it, So my hat's off to you guys that you're going to do your own music, because all I could say is this: you don't have to worry about anything. You could just do what you want.
No, exactly. I mean,
and that's it.
Yeah.
And whether people like it or hate it, you're still winners.
That's true. It's still ours.
Because you're not going to take it down.
Exactly.
Now, let me give you a forewarning. I get tagged for my own music. That when I use my own music, I get tagged. It says we're monetizing your video for the benefit of the copyright holder, and I go, okay, and I'm the copyright holder, so it's like, I mean, I don't get hundreds of thousands of views, but I'm the one that they'll pay like 1/10 of a penny to. Over the number of plays that it gets. So you guys are going to be in good company doing your own music.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's because, we're starting to look more and more into doing more than just like filming the amusement parks and going to these events. We were thinking of making like short films, and that's always been something that we wanted to do. And I think doing the own music for that is the way to go. So yeah. So I got a question.
You can do at your appearances. You can play.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
we're in charge of the music. No one can tell us.
No
not
one
to
can say
play
anything. No, exactly. Yeah. So quick question about Killer Klowns. I mean, it's honestly. So we would love to hear the story of how you got to the position you did, and also if you want to connect it to how Killer Klowns became such a fan favorite, is such a cult, not even a cult following anymore, as we're seeing it at more in events.
That's true.
More merchandise being made. Behind me, I've got all the new Funko Pops with me. I mean, so I would love to just hear how you, how it started, basically, Killer Klowns to you, and then what it is now. Yes, exactly. Yep. There we go. Yep.
Ow! Cut it out!
Oh.
I told you not to do that. Gosh.
Come
I'm on your side, dude. Or no, maybe a little girl. We don't know.
Oh.
Shorty had to say hi. Yeah, she's young. She or he is the youngest of. I don't know. She's a tiny clown. We don't know. It could be an adolescent girl or adolescent boy.
Oh.
Don't mess with Shorty. Anyway, okay.
I think
we couldn't have predicted. It's not like saying, oh, you know what, this'll, in I think 30 years, this will be a cult classic. People will be making, name it, they'll be making something with the Killer Klowns image on it. We didn't know that. We didn't know that at all. We to be quite frank with you, most people in the business thought it was a dumb movie. When I came back to deliver the masters, back then we recorded everything on two-inch tape, and I had a digital master of the master, which is really cool. But I delivered everything, and I was in the music director bought me down a dolly. And I piled everything in all the masters onto the dolly, and I went into an elevator, and it was like there were guys coming back from lunch, and there were guys from the legal and accounting department. And they go, what's that? Oh, that's one of your latest products, Killer Klowns from Outer Space. Oh man, throw that in the garbage can. That thing's the forecast for that movie is like 0.
No.
It's like. And I just said, it's not your movie.
Yes. Yes.
Apparently, it's not for you.
Yes.
And so they just, had their hands in their pockets, and, said, "Oh, what the hell." Um, and there were so many like misses. Today, this could not happen because people would be there with their, with social media. The word would have gotten out fast. Oh God, you got to see this crazy movie. It's only going to be in the movie theater for a week. Well, it was in the movie theater for a week. Chuck Serino, who did the sound effects and sound design, he had a friend at the LA Times, and I had a friend at the LA Weekly, which was which is a pretty big deal. His name was Jonathan Gold. Unfortunately, he's passed away, but he was the movie and restaurant reviewer for LA, and I just called him. And frankly, I didn't know that he was reviewing. I just called all my friends and said, "Hey, I have a movie in the movie theaters. Go see it." Right? I went through my address book and called just about everyone that would take my call. So they both gave the movie really nice reviews, and the reviews were released, published on the day that it was taken out of the theater. So I think it was only for 1 week they were in the theater. So people came to the movie theater. Where is it? Oh, it's probably in Seattle now. It's not here. They have those days they had a fixed number of prints that would travel around the country. So maybe it was showing in LA and Chicago and in San Diego, and then it would be showing in Atlanta, and Miami, that sort of thing. So, but we could have never guessed it. And the music director, his name is Bob Hunke, is a very sweet man. He later was one of the music directors at Sony Pictures. He said, "You know what? When this thing hits cable, people are gonna discover it and they're gonna fall in love with it." And that's exactly what happened. When it went into the video stores, people used to rent it and get pizza and macaroni and cheese and just have fun with it because it's just a fun, goofy movie, and that's the movie knows what it is. It's not trying to be something else, and that from perspective of music, the music had to be kind of serious to play up. The music was like the straight man,
I love that. I love that.
So, and I knew that from the minute I saw it. I says, well, the only way I can do this movie is if I do it full on legit. Isn't Shorty cute?
Absolutely.
Shorty's the best.
Absolutely. Okay, I have something for you, and you got to promise that you're not going to cry. You guys can handle this, right?
All
right.
No promises.
Well, back in May, we were supposed to. I had contacted Funko, and we were supposed to have a really fun fan event at Funko Hollywood. I said not to cry.
We're holding it back. We're holding it back.
That would have been something for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I tried to get them to do so. Can I do a plug?
Absolutely. Go for it. Yeah.
Go for it.
August 1st is International Clown Day or National Clown Day?
We'll look it up.
I'm gonna say national.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, we're having a streaming get together, and everyone's invited. It's going to be myself, the Kyoto brothers. We have a moderator, Grant Kramer, Suzanne Snyder, and a few other people. I think maybe some of the people that played the clowns. Maybe the stunt, maybe the stunt guy. I don't know. Someone else is coordinating it. It's not me. And my buddy Chuck Serino that did the sound effects and dialogue, who's also a really good filmmaker. He had a TV series called, Chuck Serino Travels or something like that. Anyways, he's a big Burning Man guy, and so and he's a documentary filmmaker in addition to being a composer. So anyway, all the three Kyoto brothers are going to be there, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to celebrate International Clown Day.
All
That's
right.
amazing.
killer way.
That's awesome.
In a
That's
very
awesome.
killer way.
We'll be there with our pizza and mac and cheese.
Right?
Yes.
Does Josue have another question, or is he leaving?
No. I'd like to, know. I can only assume that with now being, Killer Clowns being as even bigger than as it is now.
It started.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have like any super weird stuff that fans have given you, or just like,
or have you
you know,
seen? Yeah.
Is there something weird that they've given you that you're just like, cool, man?
Out of this
Oh, you
world.
mean cool and not like, I have to call the authorities.
I mean,
Whichever you would
whatever
like.
way you wanna
Whichever
take
is
it.
more.
Luckily, I think everyone that loves this film has got a wonderful personality profile. So I haven't gotten anything weird. But
Okay.
here's what's fascinating, and I get pictures sent to me all the time. People get the most drop dead awesome ink on their body.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a guy, I think his name is Tattoo Joe, that he's basically painting up a girl in, inking up a girl in Florida. I think her Instagram name is Pineapple Grenade.
Okay.
And she has some very awesome artwork, very true to the film. I mean, when you look at it, you go, my goodness, it's like it has got so much dimension and depth, that they do with this guy that does her body art is incredible. But that's only one. I mean, there's several people that have. I've been trying to get the ink community together in some way to do something. I just can't figure out what yet. As a matter of fact, when I did my concert 2 years ago, I was telling the PR girl, I go, listen, there is the tattoo community. There's the drag community that loves this movie. I think we can work with them on this one. And for some reason, we just basically tipped the iceberg. We could have, there could have been far more expanded. I mean, we had a sellout event, which was really cool. I would have been, and people ask me, oh my goodness, let me tell you something. I learned so many things. I learned that in LA, people tend to buy their tickets 3 weeks before the event.
Okay.
Unless it's like Elton John,
That's big here.
Or if it's something that people are interested, I'll get around to it. I'll someone will text me or a reminder will come up and I'll buy. And so we sold out, which is really cool. And but there were people that were flying in. You're not going to cancel the concert because I'm seeing that there's only 380 seats sold out of 1,000. I go, listen, if you're the only person that comes, you're going to get one heck of a show. I can't cancel the orchestra and I can't cancel the theater. Those are paid for. So I don't know if you've ever a good movie that people should see. It's got a great lesson. Is Zorba the Greek, and at the end of Zorba the Greek, he has this vision of opening up this mine on a little village, on a little island, and the village that's where the mine is located, it's going to just benefit from jobs and everything. But anyways, on its opening day, it completely falls apart.
Oh.
And the man that put it together, his name is Zorba. He just, they were like, they were preparing some food. He sits down, makes himself a plate of food, and he tells his friend, he goes, "Wasn't it just a beautiful disaster?" And I never understood it until I was older, because had he not done it, it would have been more of a disaster than if he had. Than if he'd done it and failed. He says, well, at least I did it, and I told some of the people that were friends of mine, they were from, back east and up north and all over the place. I told them, listen, if you're here and you're the only people to me, that's a success, because at least we're going to perform it and the orchestra will play just like if it was a full house. Well, we did have a full house.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And the musicians still talk about it. They go, when are we going to do that again? So we're working on that, by the way.
Oh, that's great. Yes.
Yeah, we got some really cool concepts that this is what's great about collaborating with people, is that sometimes people come up with crazy ideas that are just crazy enough to work.
That's what we
We
love.
have seen that. Yes. Yep. Exactly.
All right, Mr. Massari,
we just hit the 1 hour mark. So, do you have anything to plug in? Where can people find you on social media?
Well, on social media, you can Google me, and you'll get Instagram, you'll get Facebook, you'll get Twitter. Instagram is basically 99% Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Everything else is on Facebook. I have the Killer Clowns from Outer Space universe. And there's the Killer Clowns from Outer Space soundtrack. Those are both on Facebook. And Twitter is just me, just John Massari. You know, I don't have that's the persona that's on Twitter. And if you want any goodies, they are available on eBay.
All right. Yeah.
Under Wosatman, WOSATMAN.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Massari. And make sure to join all of us August 1st for the live stream celebrating International Clowns Day. Well, we will definitely be watching Mr. Massari and the Kyoto Brothers and everybody to hear and watch along with Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So thank you all so much for watching. If you like this, make sure to hit that like button and make sure also to follow all of our social media in the description down below. And always remember, horror fans, do it best.
Stay safe out there.
Thank you guys for having me.